Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and a few days ago we got some leaked information from Glitching Queen in regards to the next Black Ops 3 Zombies map for DLC 2. She talked about how we're going to be getting Takeo's Katana on this map. She also talked about that there's going to be a boss zombie on this map known as a Thrasher, and this Thrasher is actually able to engulf you, and not only that, it's going to have paws or spores on its sides of which you have to shoot, and I presume that's how we're going to be killing this. And also this boss sort of is similar somewhat to the Magua. It sort of slows down and speeds up. However, we don't really know what this boss is going to look like. She also said there's going to be some sort of spider on this map, and I presume it's going to sort of be similar to how we had the parasites and the meatballs on Shadows of Evil, and this is going to be some other creature that we're going to see on this map. It's probably going to be some sort of ginormous spider. Now, DLC 2 is actually going to be set in the Pompeii Islands, and I'm actually going to link a 33+ minute long video down in this video's description, and it explains everything about the storyline of this map and how it's going to relate to the actual the city of Lemuria, how it's going to relate to us trying to kill Takeo, how it's going to relate to Division 9, Nan Sapwe, and also it's also going to relate to the Cthulhu mythos and the Apothicons. Go watch that video, it's really useful to take it in, and also I'll link Glitching Queen's channel down in this video's description for that information that I just discussed. However, people have found out even more information than Glitching Queen told us and gave us a lot more in-depth look at these katanas and stuff like that. Now, people on Reddit have managed to go into the games code of the PC update for Der Eisendrache, and they've done some data mining and found out a load of secret stuff about DLC 2. Now, you've got to bear in mind, like with anything found within the code, it is subject to change. So the stuff I'm about to tell you will be the general idea of what it's going to be like within DLC 2, although some things may be altered and changed. I will also link the Reddit post down in this video's description so you can actually learn more information, or you can read it for yourself. So Glitching Queen in fact told us that there's going to be this katana on this map set in the Pompeii Islands, and this map's just going to have a general feel. It's going to feel very similar to Shangri-La. I honestly just can't wait for this map. But a guy over on Reddit went into the coding, and as he said, he's found out that there's actually going to be 4 katanas on DLC 2. Now, from what it seems is that it's going to work very similar to the actual origin staffs and also the bows on Der Eisendrache. We'll probably be able to get the actual katana either from the mystery box or via some little mini Easter egg, and once we've got that katana, we'll probably be able to upgrade it into 4 different katanas. However, as he said, just bear in mind this is all subject to change, and once the map's actually released, maybe we'll only get 1 katana, and also we don't know whether this is going to be the wonder weapon or a specialist weapon, but I definitely think it's going to be the wonder weapon. Now, each of the different katanas are actually based off of Greek gods, and they give code names for the actual katanas. So the first katana is actually known as Zeus's katana, obviously based off of Zeus, the god. And the description within the code reads, kill zombies allowing a cloud of thunder to kill and electrocute any other zombies nearby. Now this sounds almost identical to the actual Stormbow on Der Eisendrache, so it seems like it's going to work very similar to that, but there is going to be a katana that's going to work very similar to that. By the time DLC 2 is actually released, Treyarch may have changed the effects of this katana to make it not so exact to the actual Stormbow from Der Eisendrache, so they could change it to make it still related to wind and lightning and stuff like that, but they might change its effects. Now, the next katana is known as Boreas's katana, once again based off of the god Boreas, and the description says kill zombies allowing a tornado to suck up any other zombies nearby. Once again, this one sounds very similar to the Stormbow. So the Zeus's katana and the Boreas katana, they're like 2 different split versions of the Stormbow. They've taken both of the abilities of the Stormbow and they've made them into separate katanas essentially. The next katana is known as Pontus's katana, again based off of the god Pontus, and it says kill zombies allowing a giant wave of water to splash any nearby zombies to give you the advantage to take them out. And I've always wanted a water-based wonder weapon or weapon, and we've never really gotten one, so I'm glad about this. It seems like we're finally getting a sort of water-based wonder weapon. And as we were saying earlier, the Pompeii Islands tie into Lemuria and the Cthulhu mythos, and a lot of people are thinking at the moment, including me, that there's going to be some sort of underwater section of this map, and there's going to be links to the Gateway of Agartha, which I explained within that 30+ minute long video, linked in this video's description if you want to go check it out. Now, the fourth and final katana listed within the code is called Hectate's Katana, once again based off of the god Hecate, and the actual description reads, kill zombies, allowing knockback damage by a ghost, similar to the wolf bow. And I'm quite disappointed with these effects of these katanas, because they seem to be, apart from the actual Pontus's katana, they all seem to just be exactly like the bows from the Eisendrache. So I'm just hoping that these are just, I hope that Trek are going to change these effects by the time the actual DLC is released. I'm just praying that they do, because otherwise that's just going to be a major letdown. However, under Eisendrache we saw a lot of things such as the Wonder Fizz, and there was no new perks, so the Trek are being a bit sloppy. So I'm hoping that these katanas just aren't really just so similar to the bows, but then again, they are actually swords, and they could actually be the specialist weapons on the map. Maybe there's 4 different specialist weapons. We don't know whether these are going to be the specialist weapons or the wonder weapons as of yet. If they're the specialist weapons, then I wouldn't mind these abilities, I wouldn't mind them at all, but if these are in fact the wonder weapon, then I'm going to be quite disappointed. Now, people on Reddit have also gone into the game code, and they've managed to find some other weapon on the Eisendrache, and once again, this is either going to be the wonder weapon or the specialist weapon. We're not entirely sure, or maybe we'll get 2 wonder weapons, the katanas, and also this weapon. I'm not entirely sure. And Glitching Queen did also briefly touch upon this in her latest video as well, and I'm glad that it's also on Reddit as well, so we know that this information that Glitching Queen is getting is in fact from the game's code. Because she never actually revealed her source, so we probably can assume that it is in fact a data miner. And from Reddit, within the game's code, there seems to be a weapon called the Skull of Nan Sapwe. Now, we don't know what this actual weapon is going to be, whether it's going to be the specialist weapon or the wonder weapon, as I said, but we know that this map's going to tie directly into the history of the Pompeian race, which, as I said, I explained the whole history and backstory behind Nan Model and the Pompeians down in this video's description, and it's going to tie into a lot of the mythical gods that are on this map, and there is in fact a god called Nan Sapwe, so we can assume that's what this weapon's going to be based off. And what's interesting is that this weapon, according to the most versions of Isokelekel's legendary birth, his father is the thunder god Nan Sapwe. Nan Sapwe had committed adultery with the wife of Saldalor Lord. In anger, the Saldalor Lord set out to capture Nan Sapwe. Some versions include that the ruler had also seized other gods of the Pompeian pantheon and insulted a high priest who prophesied the Saldalor's downfall. These offences, as well as the oppressive land ownership and tribute system of the Saldalor, drew the ire of gods, humans and animal alike. Nan Sapwe, offended by the Saldalor god, left Pompeii for Khosrei. Certain versions indicate the thunder god fled to the sky world of East Katu. Having fled, he impregnated a barren human of his own Dipwen Pamia, and I'm sorry if I keep pronouncing these words really weird, but they're made up words. Well, they're not really made up words, but they're the words of the Pompeian language, so I'm obviously not going to be able to actually pronounce them. Now, it says the incestuous union produced the semi-divine Isoskeletal, who in the womb knew his destiny of vengeance. Several extreme variant versions omit Isokelekel's divine paternity altogether, focusing on the lapse of cultural norms on the part of Saldalors in failing to provide food to Isokelekel when he arrives. In these versions, he is sometimes even a Kurd of native Pompeian origins and avenges the death of his brother, as opposed to the shame of his godly father. In other versions, Isoskeletal is the product of a youth defined by the thunder god and Dipwen Parian human, or a pair of brothers avenging the murder of their father's death by the Saldalor. Despite the Isoskeletal's father was usually regarded as a Pompeian deity, Isoskeletal was decidedly foreign. He is described in legend as dark-skinned and savage. Brown posits that Isoskeletal was in perhaps a Pop-Usian descent. His origins are often described as southern or downwind. So essentially this weapon is going to have some sort of relevance to this god, so it's probably going to be some sort of weapon that's going to involve thunder, as this god was obviously a thunder god. So it's probably going to be some sort of electric weapon, or in fact it could be similar to the thunder gun. It could shoot like this bolt of wind like the thunder gun, but it's going to have some sort of relation to storms and thunder. Again, I'm just hoping it's not like the Stormbow from Dice and Racket, and I hope it's more like the thunder gun. That would just be a really great weapon. But as I said, I'm not sure whether this is in fact the wonder weapon, whether it's the specialist weapon, or whether it ties into the actual katanas as well. But this is all of the leaked information that we have as of yet from the game's code. As I said, it's all subject to change, but we know we're pretty much going to be getting a katana and this wonder weapon or specialist weapon on this map as well. So let me know all of your thoughts on this down in the comment section down below. So anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make subscribe if you're new on day for latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombies news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.